Chapter 11. At the militia headquarters garrison, Phoenix sat hunched over a desk in a sparse room. His gaze was fixed on an old radio that crackled intermittently with static. His fingers hovered over the speaker button as he said, "This is Major Phoenix Bates, requesting the location of Abigail Angelos. I repeat, requesting the location of Abigail Angelos. Over." He released the button and listened intently, but the radio responded only with silence. Frustration etched deeper lines into his face as he adjusted the dial, shifting to the next channel. He tried again. "This is Major Phoenix Bates, requesting the location of Abigail Angelos. I repeat, requesting the location of Abigail Angelos. Over." Still, there was only static. Phoenix glanced out of the small window over the desk. The night sky stretched out before him, and he whispered, "Oh, Abby, just give me a sign, please. My father's on the warpath, but I can protect you." Months passed. Day and night, Hogan led brutal raids across Jerusalem, targeting suspected Christian and Jewish households with relentless aggression. Phoenix, always at his side, fulfilled the role of second in command. Hogan's methods were harsh and unforgiving. He dragged people into the streets, using violence to subdue anyone who resisted, shooting their families and pets without remorse. Phoenix, though loyal, occasionally intervened and stopped some of the killings. All the while, Phoenix continued to search for Abigail. At the Jerusalem Correctional Center, Hogan walked through the lines of captured rebels, his tablet clutched tightly as he took meticulous notes. 2 militia members escorted a pregnant woman in her 30s past Hogan. The sight caught the attention of another member who remarked, "Looks like we've got another hell spawn on the way." "I'll take her down to the lab," someone added. Hogan's narrow eyes gleamed with sinister interest. "Oh, take it from here, boys," he said, waving them away. As he approached the woman, he noticed her terrified expression as she looked around, seemed to fade when she settled her eyes on him. It looked like she thought he would help her, be friendly toward her. He wondered if his face really looked that trustworthy. When he took her by the arm, he did so in a firm but not brutal way. She continued to be cooperative. Hogan escorted the pregnant woman, an IV drip attached to her arm, down corridors devoid of windows, illuminated only by harsh fluorescent lights. Rows of men, women, and children lay restrained on hospital beds or chairs set up against the wall. They were drugged and docile. "The 10 Kings aim to create superhumans by re-engineering the seed," Hogan explained to the woman he was escorting, "making us more powerful than ever before." He looked her up and down. "And it seems as though you have plenty of spare parts to work with." A door opened ahead, seemingly without help, and a doctor with blood-stained gloves stood there, waiting for Hogan and the woman. He handed the pregnant woman to the doctor, ignoring her pleading eyes. He wasn't surprised that she said nothing and gave no resistance. It was always easier when people just accepted their fate. As Hogan turned to leave, Phoenix arrived, his face etched with urgency. "Forgot the haloperidol," he said in a tight voice. Hogan responded while tapping his gun. "Don't hesitate to use something more sedating, and don't be late for the meeting." Phoenix, his gaze unwavering, stepped forward once his father was out of sight. He held the door to the lab room open, his eyes on the doctor, who had taken hold of the pregnant woman. She had let herself be set down on a folding chair and did nothing to try to escape. "Sorry, Doc, but that one's mine." The doctor hesitated, looking from Phoenix to the woman and back again. It was clear he didn't understand why the father would hand the woman to him and then the son make claim to her. But he was Phoenix Bates, and he always got what he wanted. Reluctantly, he handed the pregnant woman over to Phoenix, who took her by the arm and left. The war room buzzed with tension and activity. Phoenix stood before a large map of the city, surrounded by his officers, watching the big screen, showing Titan speaking in front of news reporters. "You've been left to be trampled. This is no god of love, but a god of terror. We must fight back. I know his weaknesses. Unity. Unite with me, and I promise you, we will win." Phoenix's finger moved decisively across the map, pointing to various locations marked with red pins. "We need to root out every last one of them. No hiding places. No sanctuary." Someone in the crowd interrupted, shouting, "No mercy!" Officers around the room nodded in agreement. Phoenix responded quickly, "No, you will show mercy. But we will not retreat. There is no need for constant brutality." He didn't like the looks he was getting, but it didn't matter. He was in charge, and they would do what he told them to do. As night descended over Jerusalem, Phoenix and Ahmad surveyed a dark, lonely alleyway. As they approached, a homeless family huddled together in a corner. A young girl, her eyes wide with fear, looked up at him. "Why are you taking everyone away?" Phoenix stopped and crouched down to her level, meeting her eyes with his. "Have you seen any Christians? Can you guess where they are?" She shook her head. "We are not supposed to speak to Christians." Phoenix nodded. The mother watched him warily, looming over the girl, both her hands over her daughter's shoulders. The girl tentatively reached out her small hand. Phoenix looked down at it and hesitated for a moment before gently clasping her fingers. He had a large package under his arm, which he left at the girl's feet. He looked up at her. "This is for you, all right? You and your mom and dad." The girl blinked at him. He tried to ignore the feeling it gave him to look into the little girl's eyes. She smiled, and his heart melted. He stood up, shoving away the sentiment. He stomped away, not looking back to see the delight on the faces of that starving family when they saw the amount of food he left for them.